It is high stakes as Michael Cohen heads to Capitol Hill today. His appearance, the first of 3 this week, will be behind closed doors before the Senate Intelligence Committee. That's the committee he lied to when he first testified on the Hill 18 months ago. Cohen and the president were once so close he said he'd take a bullet for Mr. Trump. But after flipping on his former boss last year, today there are signs Cohen could reveal more damaging information, including the possibility of criminal conduct by the president. This morning, President Trump's former personal attorney, Michael Cohen, begins a 3-day marathon of testimony on Capitol Hill, including intense questioning focused on his former boss. A source with knowledge of what to expect this week says Cohen will address what he perceives to be criminal conduct by the president since he took office, Mr. Trump's financial statements, potentially including details about his tax returns, and his involvement in possible campaign violations, including hush money payments to Stormy Daniels over their alleged affair, which Mr. Trump denies. Nothing will be off limits in the 2 closed-door sessions slated for today and Thursday. Democrats say one focus, that June 2016 meeting between campaign officials and a Russian attorney. Cohen also expected to be grilled on his previous false statements about working on building a Trump Tower in Moscow well into the campaign. The president has consistently insisted there was no wrongdoing.
Everybody knew about it. It was written about in newspapers. It was a well-known project.
Cohen's attorney Lanny Davis giving his own preview.
There are a couple of things that he'll say that he heard Donald Trump say behind closed doors about black people, that people, even his supporters, will say, yep, that's Trump.
Asked about it recently, the president appearing unfazed.
Do you have any concerns about Michael Cohen's testimony before Congress this
No. It's lawyer-client, but, he's taking his own chances.
The president's former so-called fixer was sentenced in December to 3 years in prison for financial crimes and lying to Congress. Now, as he prepares to head back to Capitol Hill, Cohen facing skeptical lawmakers.
He's already lied to Congress once. Now, I know he says he's been born again and all of that, but I don't know how you separate fact from fiction with Mr. Cohen.
And that's the point right there. The Republicans are likely going to say that Cohen has a big credibility problem. He lied to Congress in the past. So what's Cohen saying about that?
There's no doubt about that, Hoda. Look, Cohen's credibility issues will be under a microscope. But when he flipped on the president, Cohen said his allegiance is no longer to Mr. Trump, but rather to his family and the country. For his part, the president has distanced himself from his former fixer, calling him a liar and a rat. As for the hearing today, it is significant, but remember, it's behind closed doors, so expect those big public fireworks tomorrow. That's when Cohen testifies publicly before the House Oversight Committee, and that's where the president's business dealings will be in the spotlight.